Hello and welcome to Molyneux, where we've just watched Liverpool continue the quest to win the Premier League by winning 2-1. Paul, it was a bit of a tough game for Liverpool, wasn't it? I mean, that's what we were expecting, to be honest. Jurgen Klopp said beforehand, Wolves are a very good team. They don't lose many games. I think this was only the sixth defeat, wasn't it, in the Premier League this season? But Liverpool made it hard work, and once again, another late goal, which we love as journalists, don't we?
Yes, I've just said then in the other video we do the verdict that this was probably Liverpool's toughest game of the season so far. I think obviously the 1-1 draw at Old Trafford aside, that they're the only points that Liverpool have dropped this season, but this was difficult. Liverpool scored one at the beginning, one at the end, didn't they? And in between that, Wolves had the right good go. Wolves, when they played at Anfield less than a month ago, they didn't have Raul Jimenez, didn't have Adama Traore for most of the game, and they were back in today and showed why they're so highly rated. I thought both of them were excellent. In particular, Traore just looks such a threat whenever he gets it. You get like 5 men around him and he still finds a way past it with his pace and his power. Thought he was excellent, but Liverpool, as they invariably do now, come through it, don't they, unscathed. Seen a funny tweet actually about 15 minutes or so where football is a game played by 22 men, and after 90 minutes Liverpool win.
Yeah, it's the old Germany thing. That's what
Gary
Lineker said that many moons ago, talking about. But then Liverpool have the air about them, don't they? I mean, it's weird because you could sense at the end of the game, when Firmino scored, you didn't really think that Wolves were going to... They had the one chance, didn't they, from Jota. Yeah. But other than that, they didn't really threaten. And at the end of the game, the home crowd who'd been completely behind their team all the way through, they kind of, I wouldn't say they celebrated, but they certainly weren't upset at the end, were they? They were very appreciative of the efforts of the Wolves team. That shows you that, how far Liverpool have come and what Liverpool now do to other teams, whereby if a very good team like Wolves gets beat at home, their fans still applaud them. Yeah, well, as we said, it's only their 6th defeat this season, so now it's one more than Manchester City. So coming into this game, only Liverpool have lost less than them. Liverpool obviously yet to taste defeat. We don't know what that feels like, do we, anymore? It seems a long time ago now since they lost in Napoli back in September. We're now edging towards February and Liverpool still haven't lost. But don't forget the Aston Villa game in the Carabao
yes,
Cup.
I mean, that's a massive asterisk next to that one, isn't it? The under-10s.
As we were saying, it's 40 games unbeaten now. Liverpool are 16 points clear at the top. Manchester City, the way that the fixtures have gone, Liverpool play their game in hand against West Ham. That's next week. Liverpool then go first the following weekend at home to Southampton. Tottenham against Manchester City the following day. So by the time City play, there is a chance that Liverpool could be 22 points clear. It's 16 at the moment. It's what is basically just remarkable and ridiculous is becoming like standard now.
I know, it's strange, isn't it? It's not like Liverpool have been doing this for years and years either. It's just been this season, but now it's almost become the norm where had Liverpool have lost this tonight, you're looking at it thinking, 13 points doesn't really seem that unassailable now, does it? Just because the fact that they have been 16. So maybe it'll feel like that next week and Liverpool are 22 points clear and then it goes back to 19 and you think, is there still a chance? I think if City had to Tottenham next week with the 22-point gap, they might just throw the towel in,
They won't throw the towel in, will they? But
they won't, but I mean, maybe they'll think, we'll give up on this one and then just look towards the Champions League and rest one or two. But
it represents an opportunity though for Liverpool, does it, to make a big move. That's why this was such a big win, and as you say, it was the most difficult game this season. Probably, you'd have to say, in the scheme of things, might be one of their biggest wins as well. Yeah,
undoubtedly. I mean, Roberto Firmino hasn't scored at Anfield this season, but he's up to 10 now, and they've all been, most of them have been important goals. I think he's been responsible now he has been responsible for 15 points for this Liverpool team, and when you think of, they're only 16 clear, that shows you how vital his winning goals have been. 11 games now by a 1-goal margin. It's they're not steamrolling teams. They're in it every game until the end, virtually, aren't they?
Does that make it more satisfying when they do actually get a win? Because, they could have, say they'd have won here, I'm not saying they would have done, but say they win 3-0. It's a bit of a cruise, but to do it the way that they did it, and they keep on doing that, is that what makes this, all the more satisfying?
Yeah, I mean, we keep hearing about how poor the Premier League is, but Liverpool aren't winning 4s and 5s every week, are they? They've been in games pretty much every week until the last few minutes. So I don't really buy that notion. I just think Liverpool have just got that strength of character, the willingness to fight until the very last second, whatever you want to call it. Klopp calls it the mentality monsters, obviously, doesn't he? That's the fabled phrase, but Liverpool will just dig in every time, and it's a pleasure to watch. And you're thinking, what is going to beat them?
Probably themselves in the end.
It's going to be an absolute shocker of an off day, which they don't really have, and it's going to be an outstanding performance from an opposition. But even when either of those have sort of threatened to happen, they're still not losing. So they're going to march towards this title, and you're just kind of thinking, how many points are they going to win it by?
There were one or two good individual performances. Look at Jordan Henderson, who scored the goal. You mentioned Firmino. Joe Gomez did well at centre back, and Alisson Becker made saves when he was required. But there was one down point, and that was Sadio Mane's injury. 33 minutes, I think it was, when he went off. Just walked straight off in the end. Jurgen Klopp said afterwards, it looks like a muscle injury. Suggested it could be hamstring. He could be out for a little while. We'll find out more tomorrow, no doubt. But I meant that Takumi Minamino came on and played his first game in the Premier League. It was an interesting one for him, wasn't it? Because he came on, played in the Mane position on the left, where we'd expected him to then play in the second half. But in the second half, for a large part of it, he was playing in the right of the midfield three. Yeah,
I'm not really sure where he was meant to be playing by the end of it. It was a weird one, and I thought Klopp could have done him a favour and left him on the bench, couldn't he? Could have put Divock Origi on like for like almost, even though I think Origi might be slightly better down the middle rather than throwing on Minamino, who not really sure where his best position is at the moment. He played as a number 10 for Salzburg, plays as a number 9 for Japan. We'll see where he's going to fit in at Liverpool. Thought it might have been a more gentle introduction maybe at Southampton, but he was thrown in. He had a little bit of a go. It's always difficult for him coming in such an intense game on his Premier League debut, but he'll have better nights, I'm sure.
Just one final thing, Manchester City watching this, do you reckon they were just thinking, oh flipping heck, when that goal goes in at the end?
Yeah. They've seen a potentially 14-point lead, just bumped up to 16, just taken a little bit further away from them. You know, Liverpool win these next two games, that'll be it for me.